Good morning from Wiesbaden, Germany. My name is Billy Reinstaller, and for this week's discussion post, I'll be examining the concept of Western civilization, which is one of the basic concepts of our course, Development of Western Freedoms. There's intrinsic value in examining the concept of Western civilization and understanding what historians and philosophers have meant by this term. There are slightly different meanings which historians and philosophers have assigned to the term Western civilization. However, one cannot deny its impact upon history. To understand this concept, one must first understand and define civilization, which Lawrence Birkin, in his article What is Western Civilization, defines civilization as the largest cultural unit about which a linear history may be written. Furthermore, in his article, The Reflections on Ancient and Modern Freedom, Alexander Rosenthal Pubal examines what makes Western civilization unique, arguing that it is the concept of freedom which makes it an area worthy of study. He goes on to examine the difference between negative freedom, which is freedom from external constraint, in contrast to the Greek philosophical idea that true freedom is self-mastery. This self-mastery extends to a rational self-government, or governance, meaning that an individual is only free when they can control themselves. An example of this is that in the negative freedom concept, one may be free to eat whatever they want whenever they want. However, true freedom would be the self-mastery not to commit the deadly sin of gluttony on every possible occasion. So self-mastery or self-control in the Greek conception gives us true freedom. Another example that Rosenthal Pubal gives is the idea of an alcoholic. So one may be free if they're aged to drink alcohol, however, without constraint. However, one can only be free if they can control their consumption of alcohol or some other or food or any other thing. Rosenthal Pubal also looks to Socrates for this example. So Socrates wrote that man is free who is not ruled by bodily desires. And one additional facet of this in the Greek conception applies to the political realm. The Greeks, including Aristotle, believed that matters of law and politics could not be discussed in an atmosphere of terror or oppression. Rather, people must be free to speak their mind and use this public discourse to advance the civilization. So these ideas define civilization, and in his article, Who Put the West in Western Civilization?, Robert Royal argues that civilization is an elaborate structure of ideas and institutions built up over time by the intelligence and efforts of countless individuals working together and alone. In his concept of Western civilization, Royal includes the influence and contributions of Greece as well as Rome, Judaism and Christianity, the Renaissance, Reformation and Counter-Reformation, and the Enlightenment. He discusses what we find in academia largely an anti-Western bias in history today in particular, and argues that Greece and Rome are worth studying because there is something great in those civilizations, and they have had a lasting influence on society today. Greece gave us the concept of freedom and self-mastery, as we discussed. Rome, as Marcus Aurelius wrote about, gave us the concept of the state as providing a law for all people, which applied to all people. And the Christendom of the medieval period helped spread, at the time, Catholicism, Christianity throughout the world. Christianity's export throughout the world from Europe is the primary reason that I believe Western civilization is worthy of study. It had lasting impacts on society from around the world, and for any flaws it may have had, the missionaries of the 15th century on sought to save souls. In doing so, they brought an advanced culture in terms of theology, philosophy, art, science, and technology where no other culture had spread so far throughout the world. That is not to say that other cultures may not have value or cannot be studied. However, Western civilization is unique amongst the cultures for its global reach, and I look forward to studying it further in this course. Thanks.